Hey, I'm Jason Howell, and I'm here with the SteelSeries Arctis Nova Pro wireless headphones in white, actually sent to me from the company. And I'm super excited. And actually, when they reached out to me with these headphones, I've got back to them. I'm like, I'm not really a gamer, but I do like things that sound really good. And so, they sent them to me. They said, hey, we want to hear what you have to say. So I'm going to give you my take as a non-gamer, because so many of these features are actually really useful for anyone. But before we get there, we got to take it out of the box. So let's take a look. All right, so we got the box right here. You can see they actually sent me the headphones themselves, as you can see here. But also they sent me this booster pack, custom headband and speaker plates, because those things are actually replaceable and exchangeable. So we'll get there. First, let me pull out my janky scissors and get to work. All right, yeah, standard paper stuff for if you want to read it or throw it into your campfire, sure. Oh, it says open this for glory. I kind of feel like I need to open this first. I like glory. Okay, so you got your 3¼ inch, you got your headphone plugs there. You got your USB-C, standard USB to USB-C connector. And another standard USB to USB-C connector. More on that and why that's important later. You also got here a replaceable battery. There's actually 2 of these bad boys in this whole package, and we'll get to that in a second. And a little microphone muff to protect against, audio plosives when you're talking into the microphone, that sort of stuff. Here is the big kahuna. Oh, but actually, before we get to the big kahuna, hiding behind the big kahuna is this. It's like a little receiver box. All right, little receiver box. You can actually connect to different sources. Yeah, that's where the battery goes. Again, more on that in a second. All right, now the big kahuna. All right. Got a little extendable microphone. It's nice that that hides in there. All right, now we've got the booster pack. Okay, so if you wanted to swap those ear plates out, get a little bit of a blue style instead of a steel, like a stainless steel looking style, you can. And then also this little strap up here can be replaced with this. So we'll get to that later. All right, so you can see that it's a really nice white color. The previous version of this is all black, and I gotta say, like, the cushions feel very nice. I'm sure they're pretty comfortable when I throw them on. Let's see here. Ooh. Yeah, that's comfy. Okay, in a second I'm gonna pop these bad boys off and show you something that is absolutely an upgrade, but we'll get to that in a moment. All right, so first let's talk a little bit about the design and the build quality that you see here. I'd say it's a premium build, very sleek white color scheme. I actually really like the color scheme a lot here. Silver accents on the top. You can see lining around on the top. There's a nice sturdy feel to it, a little bit of extra weight, so it kind of gives it that premium feel. It does have adjustable headband and ear cups, so you can customize this to your head, to your liking, for a custom fit. That's nice. Both sides actually extend out with a little bit of nice resistance there. Like I said, and like I showed you, these ear pads are replaceable. I can actually... Ooh. All right, there we go. Okay, so these each pop off of there. Thankfully, actually, they don't pop off super easy, so I wouldn't imagine they're gonna, just slip off in normal use. You really have to try and pull on them in order to get them to pop off. Now, what you see under here is one of the big upgrades. Now, on the previous version of this right here, this little coil that you see underneath here, this is part of the noise cancellation system. And on the previous version, this little nub right here stuck out far enough that people who were wearing these headphones for very long could start to hear that pushing on their inner ear and give you a headache, a nasty headache. No one wants that. So they've actually redesigned this in this updated version so it doesn't pop out so far. I'm not entirely sure, because I haven't used these yet, to know how that impacts the actual noise cancellation. But I'm guessing that, they probably put their heads on that and made sure to address that. And I think this is a welcome change. This was a big complaint for people who had the black version that came before it. Okay, snaps back in place. All right, and now the other part that's replaceable, these aluminum ear cups. You can go ahead in there, and that's actually pretty easy to pop off. It almost feels like, oh yeah, it's just a magnetic snap. There we go, that's pretty easy. Take the other one off. Okay, and you can see inside the other ear cup is where the replaceable battery goes. Now, the cool thing about this system is you have a full charge battery in this ear cup, comes with another charge, another battery, and with the base station, wherever you happen to have this plugged in, oops, you gotta put it in the right way. I haven't actually, there we go. Okay, so line it up that way. There you go, it slides right in, charges while it's in there. And so the cool thing about that is, of course, if you have a long gaming session or you're watching a lot of movies or listening to a lot of music and your battery runs out in your earbud or in your earphone here, you can just pop that battery out, throw that bad boy in, and you're good to go. Now, as for the headphones controls themselves, the controls are on the left ear cup for the most part. You've got your power, of course, to turn that sucker on. You've got a mic mute if you want to mute the microphone. And by the way, the microphone extends out like that, which is, I think that's pretty cool that it hides in there that way. That's really nice. And then you've got this volume rocker, which has some nice indentation to it. It's not like very sticky or rigid. It feels really nice and comfortable. Now on the other ear cup, which is the right ear cup, you've got a Bluetooth button. And this is for syncing directly to a device. So you could use this to sync up with your phone, for example. And you tap and hold it to sync, you press it to activate Bluetooth, that sort of stuff. And finally, if you want to just do straight analog input, there's a 3.5 millimeter option for passive listening and wired. So if you still have a device that's wired that you want to plug into, there you go. Have at it. With the base station, you can swap between two different devices when you're wearing the headphones. So for example, you could also have one of the audio inputs set. So Xbox, for example, or PlayStation or Switch or whatever hardware you have plugged into the other input on the back. And as such, you should be able to use the base station to swap between the different inputs. Comfort-wise, at least in my hands, these are pretty lightweight. It's 341 grams, despite housing a battery, by the way, the battery that you saw. It's plush. Definitely has a very plush feel with the Earpads. And of course, the hope there is that you can wear these for a very long time and they're not going to wear on your head, give you a headache, give you that kind of painful ear feeling. I've definitely experienced that with headphones similar to these before. It has this suspension headband design, and that's meant to evenly distribute the weight on your head. So it's almost like it's floating on your head with the adjustment that gives it the rigidity and the stability that it needs. Under the cup, like I said, you have that ANC, that noise cancellation coil, that mic underneath, and thankfully they shrank that so you can see even with the fabric of the cup, it's not pushing out very far. It used to push out much further. So again, that's just going to make people really happy. Audio performance wise, these can do anywhere from 10 to 22,000 hertz as far as the frequency response. Inside is 40 millimeter drivers. I have yet to test these out, of course. This is really just more of an unboxing than anything. But I'm hoping, this has a good frequency response, good low end emphasis. It'll be curious to see how much it emphasizes the low end. Does it overhype things? And even if it does, there are customizable EQ settings that you can do via software if you have a PC. So that's important. I have a Mac, so I won't be able to use that software. Or on headset controls, which I have not really dove into myself. Now, I mentioned the base station. And as you can see here on the back, you've got a line input, a line output, and you've got, it's labeled Xbox USB-C port as well as just a standard USB-C port. And this is really meant to kind of take the inputs from the different systems that you're plugging into this. And you can use the base station to swap between those two. That is if you're doing a wired connection. Of course, these are also Bluetooth, so you can connect directly to a device via Bluetooth if that's your preferred method. But this base station is dedicated for kind of like a push button swap between two of those hardware devices. And then also, like I said, charging the battery wherever it happens to be plugged in. So it serves multiple purposes. You might keep this over by your TV set next to the game systems that you have plugged into here. And this will give you a readout, which I'll show you in a moment. All right, so let's see here. If I go ahead and plug this into USB-C, you can see now it's getting power. The base station is getting power. Are you located in the EU? If yes, maximum volume will be restricted. I love how they tell you exactly why. And you're like, well, I don't care. Even if I am, I'm not going to say yes. But I'm not. So I'm just going to be honest and say no. It says, okay, you're all set. So now you can get started. Now you can see here, I've pushed the button. I've got a little bit of a readout here. It gives me a sense of where the volume is set at. If I hit the button, it doesn't look like it's swapping between things. And I'm trying to see if maybe there is USB input. When I hold down, I get to determine exactly how this system works, and I can go in and set up the different things. You do have kind of equalizer presets in here that you can adjust. We can set the mode of noise cancellation, so we can do transparent to pass through, that sort of stuff. This takes you back. USB input. This switches between your two sources. You can determine which kind of wireless technology you're using to connect to the different devices that you have set up here. And like I showed you on the back, you have those line outs. You can determine exactly what you want that to control. Do you want that to control your speakers in your room? Do you want to send that out to your stream? If you're streaming your gameplay, you can do that here. And some power saving features, display brightness, the LED brightness, a few other things in the settings there. And then when your battery is all done, you just pop it up, pop it out, and it's ready to go. Drop the other one in, snap it into place, and you're good to go. Now, real quick with the battery, each battery lasts up to 22 hours, according to SteelSeries. So these are going to give you a heck of a lot of time, a heck of a lot of life, especially the fact that you can kind of have them on a rotation. One's charging while the other one's in use. You could effectively game forever and ever if you wanted to. Now, these are packaged as Xbox headphones, but it doesn't matter. And it even says it on the box, compatible with PC, PlayStation, Switch, and mobile. It doesn't really matter, but it does determine, what's labeled on the base station. And so, if that matters to you, there you go. But if you have a PC, you can use their software. And what that allows you to do is to set different audio presets based on the game that you're playing. And actually, SteelSeries Sonar software allows for all sorts of adjustments of the EQ settings tailored to specific games. They're releasing these presets to you. They've gone through all of the major games for the most part and released kind of a library of EQ settings that are ideal for each game. I can't test that because I'm on a Mac, so there you go. Let's go into Spotify and choose a song that only my kids really love because, they are using my Spotify, so that's why you see a whole lot of Taylor Swift. But there's got to be something better in here. Let's see what else we can find. Okay, I'm bypassing my kids' selections altogether. I'm going Billy Joel, You May Be Right. I'm going to throw these bad boys on and see how it sounds. You may be right. I may be crazy. Okay. I can definitely say that at least out of the box, these things are not hyped. They're not pushing out like an insane amount of low end to kind of, sweeten and overemphasize the frequencies. At least not what I'm hearing with You May Be Right. Maybe the song just doesn't have a whole lot of low end. Let's find a song that maybe has a little bit of extra low end to see how it does there. Yeah, again, I'm not hearing like crazy emphasis. I'm not hearing this overwhelming like low end, but things sound, really crisp. Clarity is there. I'm really looking forward to spending a little more time with this. So overall, while these headphones are definitely marketed for gaming, the headphones, I feel, are pretty versatile. So you can use these for a whole lot more, right? Music, movies, general audio consumption, not just gaming. Although I think they really kind of come alive with gaming uses because you can plug the consoles directly into the base station. You can do the audio swapping between your sources, which makes them just really flexible in swapping between those different sources. Now, the price, $349.99, so $350, which is, I gotta say, a pretty pricey pair of headphones. And I mean, I've only had limited experience with the audio quality. I'll definitely be putting them to the test and share my thoughts on them as far as audio quality is concerned, as far as long-term comfort is concerned. I plan on using these for my upcoming trip to Italy. I'm sure I'll have plenty of time on the plane to experience these. That's the SteelSeries Arctis Nova Pro wireless headphones, now in white and with the updated noise cancellation coil on the inside. Definitely check these out. And, follow and subscribe to the channel for more reviews, unboxings, all sorts of stuff like this. If you're a tech fan, so am I. So I'm going to create stuff that you'll like too. So make sure and subscribe. Thank you for watching my unboxing of the SteelSeries Arctis Nova Pro wireless headphones.